Alright guys, we have to redo this. Because the first one we set the output to a different output and the video came out all squished. With that being said, I just want to thank the devs of Divineduel. Holy smoke, you guys just put this out like, or the community managers. You guys put this out like, yesterday we asked for it, today you guys put it out. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. And the developers, you guys put out a bang game. That's just fun. Like, love it. Anyways, with that being said, without further ado, let's get started. Disclaimers, we only been playing this game for a couple of weeks. So if you disagree with something, I'm completely okay with that. Just, I want to hear your opinion on why. Like, what you think, you know, where it belongs to, down in the comment down below. All right, just let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know. Just let your boy know. I would love to hear your opinion, because you know, just because we have different opinion doesn't mean one of us has to be right. All right, let it be known, guys. Let it be known if you have a thought process on a weapon and why it should be on a specific tier list. All right, guys. We're gonna start with some of the weapons so that we can set the criteria of what we're looking for in each tier. Okay, S tier. This guy right here. All right, single-handedly, S tier, the blaster shotgun. You have 9 shots in 15 seconds. All right, no other weapon has this much projectile with this much of a low cooldown. Every other, you know, the bow is 3 shots, 8 seconds. So times that by 2 is 6 shots in 15 seconds. This blaster shotgun, despite have less damage, has 3 whopping shots more than that weapon, right? You could have the SlingShot. The SlingShot. Okay. Whew. My. Oh god, it's bright now. This is easily the only S tier weapon that's in the game right now. So there you have it, blaster shotty. A tier. A tier needs to be like solid, right? You want to bring it, but most likely after your S tier item. I think a good A tier item would be the bow. Okay, if you don't have the Nacro tree and have the SlingShot, you have to have a bow. It's very accurate, it's easy to shoot, and you get 3 shots. So yeah, so A tier would be right there. B plus tier, this will be situational. This will be something you want to bring if you don't have, like, after, like, you want to create a loadout that's specifically for a certain thing, and you're bringing it because you don't have a better replacement. Okay, it's like everybody could get a paintbrush, all right, but if you don't have the paintbrush unlocked, you could bring the hammer. So this hammer is a 1-shot straight earthcracker going towards your opponent. A tip on how to use this bad boy is when you slam the hammer down, it never curves. It never goes to, like, if you aim that side, it doesn't go that side. No matter which side you aim, I'll go straight towards your opponent. So, but what's nice about this thing is it looked like it's curving. So if your opponent is inexperienced, they might think this earth splitter is gonna go that way, right? So, but if you're an experienced player, just look at where the opponent slams, and it's gonna come straight towards you. So B plus, pretty good. B minus, this would be items that's like, you don't really want to brand, but it's still somewhat viable. So the barrel is a good example. Actually the barrel and the earth splitter, they're very similar to each other. Yeah. One could argue the barrel is better than the earth splitter, but the problem with the barrel is harder to aim, and also it can be stopped. Like, opponent could shoot stuff at it. Therefore, I think it will be a B minus, but the 2 is actually very close. Now, the problem with the barrel for someone on the receiving end is the barrel is very jittery. This is actually what makes it, like, kind of strong, is that when I look at it, it gives me damn motion sickness. So I think that's something that's going for it. C tier, this is something you pretty much don't want to bring to the battle. Yeah, you don't want to bring it. So something like the blade, this is definitely like a C tier. You block something and then you throw this thing out. It's just not that good, guys. I cannot imagine being hit by this. If you ever hit me with this, clip it. I want to see it. All right. So it's like so the problem with this is like a glove. It's like a glove. Where's the damn glove? It tanks like 15 damage. There's a glove, right? So which reminds me of C tier is gonna be the glove, and then it's gonna be like the hammer. Okay. You know, so you add those two together, equivalent to this thing right here. The problem with the hammer is 8 seconds, you get one shot only. So it's a decent trade versus something like a Doomerang, but the problem is aiming with the hammer. There's a pretty good chance you'll miss with the hammer. The aiming, the throwing motion is just, either you take a lot of skills or it's just not very well designed yet, not very well refined. So I don't know what it is. Maybe you just get good, right? Maybe when you get really good, when we actually get good at the game, it could be a B minus, considered like a situational item. But until you get good, or until we get good, it's a C tier. All right. Well, we said too much about the C tier. We already added 2 items. We're gonna go ahead and add an F tier item, and that is the time warp. This bad boy has like a 20+ cooldown, right? And what it does, it slows down all your opponent's projectile. And this is the sucky part. When that timer goes off, everything will get to you at the same time. All right, so unless you want to kill yourself in the game, not in real life, unless you want to kill yourself, Divineduel, bring this item. Otherwise, don't do it, guys. Don't do it. All right, cool. We set our criteria. Now we're gonna go through the rest, and we're gonna try to do it in a speedy fashion because 8 minutes already passed. Holy smoke, this is gonna be a long video. Once again, you don't agree with something, let me know down in the comment down below. Shield. Ooh, the shield is... I don't know, boys. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna play 8 here, just because it's the best shield. But this could be a B+ situational item. Man, this is the best shield. This is by far the best shield, guys. I think so. Right now, the current meta or how people are playing it, the shield is definitely a B+, like a situational item. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. I think it just has so much potential. I think the gameplay of having a shield and deflecting with the shield is not developed. I think there is a viable way to play the shield is a one-hand operation. One hand hold the shield, always have a shield in your hand, and then the other hand using one-hand weapons only. So I think shield could be very, very good. But based on currently, like the current meta, how players are playing the game now, I think it's more of a B+ tier item. Yeah, it's a B+ tier item, but I think it has the potential to be very, very good. And that's because 24, well, Legend says 24 is really, really good right now. And he has shield in his loadout. So it could be very, very good, or very good, or good, right? A tier. But based on currently what we see so far, it's more of a B+ item. F tier, the smart shield. The smart shield pretty much eats whatever that hits you or coming close to you, and it only deflect 15 damage. At the same time, it's really dumb because it just eats everything that flies towards you, and it also kind of blinds your view if it just happens to turn right in front of you. So smart shield is very, very dumb. Do not bring that to the battle, guys. Axe is pretty much the same as the other axe. You throw a single axe towards your opponent. Oh my gosh, Wand of Eclipse. No, this is not the Wand of Eclipse. I don't know what this is, but it shoots 2 little dark thing at your opponent. If it hits your opponent, if it's super tiny, 2 little shots, all right? If it hits your opponent, then it blinds them. But the chance of this hitting is 0.00001%. Therefore, it goes to F. Doomerang. Solid B+ situational item. Really depends on your loadout. If your loadout is super passive, do not bring this guy. It will be shot down. If your loadout is very aggressive, you're very good at zoning out your opponent when they try to shoot it down. It's pretty darn good. Especially if you can catch 2. If you have 2 and shoot both of them out at the same time, 30 freaking damage. That's what makes it good. But I think as the game gets progresses, so we're pretty much rating everything based on right now. But as game progresses, that means, you know, when players are getting better at the bow, getting better at the sling, this is gonna fall down the tier list real quick because people could just shoot it down with, you know, blindfolded, and then it's gonna suck. So, but right now it's very, very darn good. It fits in a lot of loadouts, B+. This arrow thing. This is don't bring this to the battle. Actually, you know what? Even this glove is trash, pure trash. 15 damage deflect. Like, so opponent comes at you, 15 damage, and I think you take the rest of the damage. So if the shot is 30, you block with the glove, you take 15 damage. So it's pure trash. Actually, we're gonna play in F. This thing, 20 plus something seconds, 3 shots goes into the sky, and they land at the same freaking area. Okay, it's super telegraphed. Your opponent looks up. Oh, okay, it's coming at me. Let me step 1 centimeter to the left or 1 centimeter to the right. Dodges that right off the bat. So trash, especially consider how long of a cooldown that thing has. SureShot Bow. Ooh, boy. All right, we're gonna put it A tier. Okay, just because it's not as good. Ooh, you know what? Damn, I really want to add another row. You know what? Your boy's gonna add another row. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add another row. Add a row below. All right, we're gonna add a row below. Oh shoot, how many row do we add? How many row do we add? All right, this is S minus. Great. Or actually, you know what? Let's do A plus. All right, this is great. Okay, this is like wonderful. This is like amazing. Like, damn, this is Gucci. This is good. All right. SureShot Bow. Why is SureShot Bow good? There's a couple ways to use it, right? You could use it in your combo, left and right. So usually I like to station something. Like, I would like to, shoot something slow so your opponent's kind of like distracted and they have to kind of move. They're like, oh, those shots are gonna be land right here. Let me move to the left. And then I shoot the SureShot Bow, because what's gonna happen is now the SureShot Bow is gonna home in on the opponent. So there's that one way to use it. You throw that in a full combo, right? And the second way to use it is you could shoot one at a time. So opponent's firing a bunch of stuff at you right now. I'll shoot one. I'll just sneak it to the left. I'll do it as fast as possible. Hopefully my opponent don't see it. And sometimes you just guess them. And it's like 22 damage, right? So it's great. It's better than the regular bow. And the only reason the regular bow is in A is because there's something better to replace it. But it's very good. It's very cheeky. This loadout could be, this SureShot Bow could be very cheeky, could be actually very good. It could be good in combo. It also could be pretty decently cheeky, but it's still not as good as Blaster. This is the Volley Bow, right? Volley Bow, I would like to put this guy in the A tier. I think it's just slightly better than the regular bow, because it just works better in a combo. And it also works better if your opponent has, big minions coming at you. Instead of shooting the bow boom, boom, boom 3 times, you could just go 1 time, 2 times, or just 1 time. What's also nice about it is if you shoot it upwards, 3 arrows at the same time gonna conjure onto your opponent's podium, or you could shoot it two times, right? Boom, boom. It pretty much covers your opponent's entire play area from up to downwards, right? So the problem with this game, there's not a lot of stuff that kind of distracts your opponent. Everything's coming from the front. So it's good to have something that's just coming from top down, and also it's like kind of overwhelming at the same time. This is the only thing that overwhelms your opponent from top down. So that's why it's A plus. Pillar, oh man, I used to love this guy so much. Now I just think it kind of sucks. It's a B minus for sure. Ooh. Matter of fact, I argue this could be like a C tier. You probably don't want to bring this. The problem with this is something like a SlingShot. Everybody should have SlingShot. Like, if you're Nacro, if you don't have Nacro, you should buy it. If it's $15, guys, come on, it's $15, all right. But if you don't have Nacro, then yeah, it kind of sucks because see, Nacro, you get this bow and you also get the SlingShot, right? So both could easily take out this pillar. This pillar is like 22 seconds. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna put pillar in C tier, just because this thing has 22 damn seconds. Just way too long. If this is like 16 seconds, it will make more sense. But the cooldown is just way too long. Health is like 60. Opponent can shoot it down before you push it down. Yeah, because if you just want to push it down like right away, might as well bring the hammer. Might as well bring the hammer. If you want to keep it up, might as well bring a shield, right? Might as well bring a big shield that has more health. Yeah. So C tier, no, don't bring. I used to love it. I was new back then, so don't bring. B minus. Ooh, this guy is a B minus to a B plus. I would say this is more like a solid B tier. And the reason this is more of a B tier than a B minus is because it's a firebomb. You throw it out. It covers a good amount of area of your opponent's play space. But the problem is it's a very small play space, but it's 15-second cooldown. So it's very short cooldown. So it could be like a B tier. I think it's maybe better than the barrel. I feel this 2 is more like a B tier, right? Like kind of situational. But anyway, yeah. So the reason that this is in the B tier, B minus tier, is because there's something that should do it better than this, right? The Storm. The Storm is a I would say the Storm is a B plus tier. All right, B plus because it's situational. It's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good, but it's not amazing. And the problem with the Storm is if your opponent shoots a Storm at you, all you have to do is hold a shield, right? Hold a shield and just hold it on top of your head, or have a wood and hold it on top of your head to make sure that you don't get strike that. So it's you could counter it, and it's like 22-24 seconds, so the cooldown is pretty high, but this is pretty darn good. This could be arguably be in the A tier, but it's just not there. Like it could be countered. Yeah. See the shield and the Storm. I'm gonna put it in order. The shield and the Storm could be A tier. Oh man, it could be A tier. It could be very well be A tier. Yeah. But anyways, the Storm just has such a bigger AoE than the Fireball. This thing is 15-second cooldown versus the Storm is 22-second cooldown or 24-second cooldown. So even you take 2 Firebomb, you times by 2, that's 30 seconds already, and it doesn't have enough of a play space coverage as the Storm. So Storm wins. I believe this is the Wand of Lightning. Yes, this is Wand of Lightning. I think this is very situational. I think this could be C tier. This could be C tier, but it's very situational, and that's because what's nice about Wand of Lightning, it auto aims, almost auto aims. If you aim like all the way over there, it's not gonna go all the way that side. But if your opponent's minion is coming at you, if you kind of aim anywhere close to it, it's gonna shock the minion. The problem with Wand is, I think one thing that devs could change to it and make it more viable is that the problem with the lightning is it bounces between 4 different targets, up to 4 different targets. So if there's no target after the first one, it just stops bouncing. So one way to make it viable is so that it could bounce towards itself, right? If it bounces towards itself, so like one minion, it'll bounce maybe like twice, right? Instead of like 4 times. But the reason for that is because if your opponent has something big, like, opponent has anything big, like say, they have this dinosaur, right? They have this dinosaur right here, okay? This dinosaur. If opponent throws out that dinosaur, this thing tickles it. This thing doesn't do anything, all right? So that's why it's going to be in B minus tier. But if opponent use the tower, right? So this tower right here, Tower of Fanatics, all right? If opponent use Tower of Fanatics, you can actually kill 4 minions with 1 shot. So, but the problem is you have to wait for all 4 minions to come out. So that's another issue. So yeah, B minus tier, pretty decent, but very, 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 very situational. The smoke bomb thing, so pretty much kind of covers your field and your opponent don't really get to see you. I think is okay. I just feel like it's like a wasted slot. All right, this thing is like a wasted slot. I don't think it's as bad as like F tier that you could like it's completely useless, or you could potentially kill yourself because you use it. So we're gonna go ahead and play C tier. This thingy to stop all your enemy attack. Now, if your opponent have this one big giant wombo combo, I think this thing is great. There's so many times I'm using like one giant wombo combo and my opponent just throw that up and just stops everything. The problem with this guy could very well make it to fall into the C tier is that if I see my opponent brains this thing is like 24-second cooldown, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll rotate him, right? So instead of using my entire combo, which I have Storm in my entire combo, so this is like, it's the same cooldown as this wind thing, I'm just gonna use my lower cooldown stuff. I'm just gonna out-rotate him by using a smaller combo, pretty much. So that's the problem. It makes it pretty bad. Otherwise, it's actually pretty good because if your opponent has a huge wombo combo, this thing just gonna stop it in midair. And I don't think it has a health like the shield, so it stops everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. Firebomb. Firebomb is a C tier in my book. It could be B, it could be B, it could be... No, it's a C tier. It's a one shot. You throw it, I believe it's 8 seconds. The problem with that is your opponent can actually catch it and throw it back at you. So that's not very good. The other problem with it is it's just a one shot. So it's like a hammer, it's like an axe. It's one shot. And you have to be pretty good at throwing. Especially the fact that we're all not very well versed at throwing yet. It's not that good of an item. Shredder, I think this thing is more of a B minus, like very situational. It's 15 seconds. It gives you a bunch of little shots that fires at your opponent. It's pretty decent. I would maybe bring this if I don't have like the Volley Bow. Yeah, maybe if I don't have the Volley Bow, maybe if I don't have the laser brush. Pretty hard to control. That's that's one of the problem. But it's pretty decent at the same time because if your opponents throw up like like a pillar or a the fanatic whatchamacallit tower, I guess you could just aim it and just fire at it. So it's not all that bad, but I just haven't really seen anybody that use it that effectively to make it better than a B minus tier, by making it better than a very situational tier. Also because there's just other weapons that can do a better job, like the Volley Bow. Oh boy. Okay, this is a C tier. This will be no for me because it's 4 shots. It's 4 shots. It's still decent. It's still decent. It could be very, very situational. If you don't have anything better to bring, yeah, you could bring it. But it's 4 shots. The SlingShot boys. The SlingShot, which is going to be A tier. A plus tier. We're going to explain that. The SlingShot just does a better job. Like if you don't have Necro, you have to get it because the SlingShot. All right. And the problem with this thing is 4 shots. What's nice about it is it's very good at aiming. So if your opponent has like a dragon coming at you, you could aim it very easily. But it doesn't outtrade anything, right? So if your opponent has, throw a boomerang, you shoot this boomerang down, and then you have to shoot the 3 shots. Actually no, this is a B minus. B minus. Okay, so it counters a lot of stuff. It could kind of outtrade a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it just doesn't completely outtrade, right? So if you use the SlingShot, you shoot the boomerang down, you still have 3 shots, and you outtrade them by about 8 second cooldown. The problem with this guy is you don't outtrade the cooldown, you just literally outtrade the shots. And then the bow also does a better job than this thing, right? So the bow, you have 3 shots with only 8 second cooldown. So it's not as trash as, let's say, C tier, but you could still use it, but it's just not, the cooldown is just way too high for what it is. Lute of Healing, solid A tier item. It really depends on your loadout. The problem with this guy is the cooldown is kind of high. I think it's 22 or 24. So it might not fit into your loadout, but it's a solid item because the name of the game is to have more health than your opponent. So what better ways to do it than having an item to kind of recover health? The only problem with something like this is you're very reactive, so you can only use it when your opponent hits you. So if there's only like 10 seconds left on the clock and your opponent is like trying to overwhelm you, and you have to pick out this thing and try to dodge everything and try to dance around a hill at the same time, it might not be the best choice. So that's why we're gonna put out A tier. And then we have the Fountain Healing. Now, the Fountain Healing is definitely somewhere in between. I think Fountain Healing is better than the Lute, just because you're not really paying attention to it. You drop it down and you don't never have to pay attention to it again, right? And it's also like 16-second cooldown, so it fits into a lot more loadout right? I think this is not as good as those 3 right here, but it's definitely better than the Lute, and it's about the same as the bow, but I would put the bow in A tier because the SlingShot just do a better job. So Fountain is pretty good, especially I'm theory crafting right now. I think there's a way to do like a one hand operation, so the other hand always holds a shield, and then the other hand just throwing down. So this could be very good with a one hand operation type of loadout. The bird, the bird. I think Cronster is the one that told me this. The bird is dumb. This is a dumb bird. This is not a smart bird. Bird flies super slow, super easy to dodge. 1 shot, 8 second. Pretty much, it's like the axe. Yeah, pretty much it's like the axe. Wait, is bird 16 seconds or 8 seconds? Gee, I forget. But bird is bad. Bird is somewhere between C and F. Yeah, bird is bad. Axes. I think the axes is actually very situational. I don't see a lot of people use this. What's nice about it is your axe is out here, and you could throw all 3 at the same time, or you could throw one at a time. So I guess that's what I like about the axe. I haven't really used it that much, but I'd assume you could throw 1 at a time or 3 at a time, or is it possible to throw one and then put another axe thing out? I'm not sure, but the fact that it has 3 shots, it's already better than C tier, but I don't think it's good enough to be B+. I just haven't used it enough to I just haven't used it to deem it to be, you know, to say that damn, this is good. Verpal Blade. I believe Verpal Blade would be B+. This is a good, decent, good item. I think there's a lot of potential with this, and there's definitely a skill ceiling to time your attack. What's nice about this is you could pretty much place them wherever you're thinking about your opponent's gonna go, and then you shoot them, place 3, right? The third one, as soon as you drop the third one, all 3 goes, right? So as place 2, and then as you're ready to grab your weapon, place down the third one, and then just overwhelm your opponent with a Verpal Blade and your secondary weapon. So I think it's pretty good. I think, like, I would put this thing in like more of a B tier, to be fair, right now. But what's nice about this thing is you can actually shoot 2. So for those of you who don't know, you could put 2 Verpal. You could put, as soon as you put the first Verpal Blade down, right, you stationary it, your second one is gonna start spawning already. So I think that's the reason why that this makes it like a B+ tier, because as soon as you put down the first one, the second Verpal Blade is gonna start spawning. You don't have to finish using all 3 blade before the second set starts spawning. So that makes it really good. I think this shoots like an ice. Yeah, this shoots an ice. So 1 shot. I think this is slightly better than the Axis because it's easier to aim, but it's not. It's still just 1 shot. You know, 8-second 1 shot. When you could bring something like the bow that has 3 shot, or you could bring, the beta bow, which is not in here, that has 3 shots. We have this barrier. Barrier would be a no for me. Yep. Barrier, it would be a no for me. It's not a very hard no. It's a kind of no. The problem with barrier is it eats everything. So your opponent can completely miss you. All right, they could completely miss you, and this thing just eats all the damage. All right, and like shots have no business for it to tank or tank it for you. It's like, hey buddy, I'm here to tank all the damage, and then like, bro, I don't need to tank that. Tank the thing that's gonna hit me. And it has like a crazy cooldown. I believe like 22 or 24 seconds. No go. Oh, laser brush. So this is an Aishi tree brush. Whoa. Yeah, this is an Aishi tree brush, which we're gonna talk about the real brush first. So I would say the real brush is situational. I believe the real brush is even better than the hammer, right? The hammer is gonna go over there. Yeah, hammer is almost gonna fall down to B-. So the brush is actually pretty darn decent. What's nice about it, it could shoot a straight line. All right, it could pretty much cover almost the entire play space of your opponent for a straight line. So if you don't shoot it too high, like shoot it right at their waist, and then your opponent has to kind of go to the side. Then you just kind of block off the side with maybe like some arrows or some slingshots. So it's actually pretty darn good. I would even say, I would even say this thing could be like an A tier. This is like an A-. This is a really good item. Yeah, so I would say even better than all of that. Yeah, very good item. Very good item. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if this does the same as that. Like, it looked like it does. I just haven't used it yet. If it does, that is a B+ tier. If it doesn't, then it's going to be a B- or maybe even a C tier. But I'm just giving you the benefit of doubt. If it's the same as the laser brush, the paintbrush, the laser brush is the same as paintbrush, then it's going to be a B+ very easily. But I don't know. I haven't checked. Okay, I haven't checked. I'm too lazy to check right now. So you let me know. You let me know if you know what's up. The Storm is a, I think it's still better than some of the crap that's over here. Oops, did I say a bad word? But it's more of a C tier. The problem with this thing is it looks scary. It feels scary. The graphics of this thing is dope. Freaking big ass storm coming at your opponent. Problem with this thing is 45 health, guys. You shoot 3 bow at it, you three bow shot at it right here, it's gonna die. All right, 3 shot slingshot, 8-second cooldown, it's gonna die. Like, you shoot anything at it, it's gonna die. So, yeah, that sum it up. This laser thing is gonna be an F tier for me. 20. The problem, I think it could be a C tier if the cooldown is lower. It shoots 2 straight lines, and yeah, it shoots 2 straight lines. So think about like 2 laser going towards your opponent. We're back. Gonna turn on the light. So yeah, it shoots 2 straight laser towards your opponent. The problem with this thing is cooldown is way too high to justify what it does. This thing, I think this is gonna be, ooh, we're kind of blocking ourselves off now. Huh? We're gonna move ourselves right here now. All right. So this thing right here is, it shoots 5 shots. The problem with this thing is a 28-second cooldown, whopping 28-second cooldown. The good thing about this thing is it takes roughly 3 shots for your opponent's bow to get rid of it. So your opponent has to hit all 3 shots to get rid of it. I think this could be a very situational item, but the problem is 28-second cooldown is just really high. Like you have to get rid of like a lot of this stuff in order to place this in your loadout. So we're gonna go ahead and put into the C tier. This shield. The shield is pretty cool on paper. It looks good on paper. But the problem with this shield is 75 health, most health item in the game. But the problem with this shield is the cooldown. It's 32-second whopping cooldown. I believe this is the highest cooldown in the entire game. Because the cooldown is you're gonna be very handicapped in building your loadout. So unless you have a very, 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 very situational loadout, this guy is a no-go. Wand of Reflection. I would say this guy is a... This guy is a C tier. Like, this guy could outtrade or trade against pretty much a lot of the weapons on this list, right? So you could trade against the hammer. You see the hammer, cracker, earth cracker thing coming towards you. You go ahead and reverse it. You'd be like, oh, reverse Uno. I mean, it sounds really cool on paper, but the problem with this guy is very reactive. So by the time this hammer thing coming at you, there might be other 10 projectiles flying at you. So you have this one wand and you're trying to kind of deflect everything. So you might get hit. So proactive item, I would say, is always better than reactive because they're taking your energy to deflect it rather than just fire when you're like, when you're chilling, right? So that's why we're gonna put in C tier. But it's better than most of the C tier item, that's for sure. It could be a B minus. This is the buckler shield. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty much. So here's the thing, all right? I don't know the hitbox of this thing, so this is a review shield. Devs needs to nerf this thing, all right? Like you can't have a item that's a review item and be the best shield in the game, guys. You just can't. Like, that's not fair for people who haven't reviewed the game yet. But everybody who haven't reviewed the game, you gotta review the game. Freaking, it's a free game. Like, at this quality, it deserves a freaking 5-star. Anything less than a 5-star, you should get canned because it's a free game. But with that being said, yeah, still, like, based on principle, if it's gonna be competitive, yeah, the hitbox, I don't know. If the hitbox looks like it's smaller with this shield than the default shield than the review shield. If the review shield is not in the game, I would say this would be like a B+. But if you have the review shield, there's no reason why you shouldn't have the review shield. Just write a review for the game. Then this thing gonna be B- because it's just smaller. Anyways, next. Big mirror right here. Big mirror is a no for me. It could be very situational, getting close to that. But the problem with big mirror, same as this barrier thing, is it eats everything. So your opponent could just have shots that have no business hitting you. They could be like all the way to like kind of to the side, right? And this thing gonna watch me, let me block everything for you. No go, no build. This is the I think. Ooh, okay. This shoots 3 energy ball thing, like it's a drum, boom, 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 shoots towards your opponent. So this could easily be a B- tier if this thing has 15-second cooldown, like 16-second cooldown. But the problem with this thing, I think it's like 22 or 20 second. And the problem with that is the paintbrush does pretty much exactly what this thing does. A straight line, right? Like a straight line and covers the entire play space. This thing, it shoots 3 round ball thing. Matter of fact, your opponent can kind of outstep it. The problem is, if you do for the 2 drums that's all the way to the side, your opponent could literally just on the edge of their play space and tilt their body like this and just dodge it. So it's not that effective, and it has extremely high cooldown. So that's why it goes there. The Rhino is C tier. The Rhino is C tier. Rhino, it's on the same spectrum of this barrel pretty much. The only thing is I believe it has higher health and does more damage. But the problem with the Rhino is very one-dimensional. It's charged towards your opponent, and it only has a very high CD, like 22-second cooldown. So with that, you could bring something that's less CD, like 16 seconds. I think anything over 20-second cooldown is gonna handicap your loadout. You only want to have like 1 or 2 items that's over like 20 seconds, and you want to save that space for something that you really need and really want, like the storm, right? and maybe the Healing Flute, not a average Rhino. With that being said, this is the Tower of Fanatic. I believe this guy is a solid B- tier. If you have a loadout that's trying to completely overwhelm your opponent, like time attack, like everything go at the same time, this could be potentially good. The problem with this thing is your opponent could take this thing out with 2 shots of almost anything, right? So anything low cooldown. So 2 shots from the bow, it is gone. 2 shots from the slingshot, it is gone, right? So as players getting really good at aiming with those things, this thing is going to be pretty useless. But based on the skill set right now, I think it's still good enough to be B-. Heck, the best player in the game used to bring it, or I think he stopped, but he used to bring it, right? Or the best player, the highest ranking player, Ting. You're a Valder, hey, no offense, all right? Highest ranking player, Ting. He brings this a lot, so, or he used to bring this a lot. So this could be, this at least deserve to be in the B- tier. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this long, lengthy loadout video, tier list video. Now, if you disagree, I want to hear what you think. I love a good debate. Let me know what you think, if anything should be changed, if how you feel about specific weapon, whatnot. Make sure to leave that comment down below. Anyways, this is Woody. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.